webinar jam.
Yeah, webinar jam. Yeah, because all we can do is virtual now. So might as well capitalize on it. So my name's Deborah Brent. I've actually never met you directly before. I know you and Marty. Tina should be popping in here momentarily. I think she'll be running a couple of minutes.
Let me dress up for this. There we go. I'm dressed up now.
So we have over 100 people with us, awesome agents from across the country. We got people tuning in from Carolina to California to Canada to you name it. So we're excited to have you today. I know Marty's stoked as well to kind of get this thing started. So you guys,
thanks, sweetheart.
You guys ready to just dig in and let's get this thing started?
Let's do it.
Perfect. So I am just going to kind of be the moderator and let you guys talk in the forefront. You guys are the go-tos in real estate. So just to kind of run through what we're going to talk about in today's session is Marty, Brent, and Tina, who will be coming on shortly, are going to talk about the wise moves to make in an uncertain market such as now. And you could flip this into the next issue or the next thing that our markets have to go through as well. So this isn't just about COVID-19, but take what we're going to talk about today and see how you can flip it into your business, because what we're going to talk about today might be mind-blowing to some of you. These agents have come from some of the top brands in the country, have dominated those brands, and have made some ultimate shifts. So we're going to dig into meeting Marty, meeting Brent, meeting Tina. We're going to have a quick powwow discussion about what's going on in the current markets within each of these agents. And then we're going to dig into some of the powerful things about this new brand. So Marty, let me go ahead and just let you take the stage real quick. Marty's been formerly known as the #1 RE/MAX team in the US, #3 RE/MAX team in the world, yada, yada, yada. Her list goes on and on. But Marty, real quick, give us a quick elevator pitch about who you are and your business that you've built so far.
Oh, quick elevator. You know, I've been in real estate a long time. I was a single parent. So when I was in my 20s and I needed to earn an income that was above the poverty level, I didn't have a degree, and I fell in love with real estate. I got into real estate, which wasn't a real steady income. You had to sell stuff and store it to get a check. So somehow I survived it. I remember, I remember this so graphically, Brent, because I was the bread earner for my little family. I remember the first year I got in real estate, I made $40,000, and that was okay. The next year I doubled and made 80. I went from 80 to 120. I went from 120 to 180. I went from 180. My fifth year in a row, I made 240,000. I said, yeah, this may be a fit.
I love it. Congratulations.
That was a long time ago.
I think by my fourth year in California, we have higher prices. Although Sacramento, I'm in Northern California, it's the most affordable large metropolitan city, which is both good and bad. It's not overly expensive to live here, but that means our home prices were the lowest in the state. I think when I started back when we drove horses to the office, we drove the horses. We literally, it was 2 years before I sold a home over $100,000 in California.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's how old I am. I remember doing open houses on homes that were $88,000 and $95,000, and the neighbors just being outraged. Like, these doggone horrific Bay Area buyers from San Francisco and San Jose moving to Sacramento, we're 2 hours away, driving our prices up. Who would ever pay $88,000 a house? They're fools. All those homes are $400,000 now. That's our average price in Sacramento, but it was 2 years. But by my fourth year, I made $393,000, almost $400,000. I'm like, this is the greatest business in the world. It's kind of what you make it. If you want it to be tough, it's tough. If you want it to be fun and easy, it's fun and easy. It's kind of what you got going on up here.
That's true.
That's awesome. Well, I've done some research on Brent, and Brent was formerly known with KW and RE/MAX. He's sold over 3,500 homes, #2 agent out of 10,000 agents in with RE/MAX, and ran the largest Keller Williams franchise in the country, which is amazing. Anything else, Brent, that you would like to give our audience and awareness of what you've built today?
I built 4 orphanages in Africa. No, I'm kidding. I just thought, what can I add to that? That would be really cool. I wish I had done that. I support a lot of charities that and stuff that does do that. But
Yeah.
anyways, no, I mean, you got the gist of it. I've written some books. I've been fortunate to speak. The year I was the #2 agent, that was in volume. The guy who beat me was in San Jose selling homes for $980,000 a piece. So he just crushed me. I'd have to sell 3 to every one of his. But numbers wise, I beat him,
There
which
you go.
transactional made me the #1 agent for California. But who wants to be #2, right? But no, I've just had fun. Real estate's been a great career. Marty feels the same way. I feel the same way. My kids got me this great coffee cup for Christmas. I like it. King, there we go.
That is amazing. Amazing. So we got powerhouses on the line here. And Tina, when she dials in, I'll give her a couple seconds to talk about her business and what she's built too. But just to kind of keep things moving forward, because I know everybody is still working and grinding across the country. So one of the biggest things I think, I know a lot of top agents that I get the opportunity to speak to, they all like to talk about change. So yes, we're in a kind of a unique situation right now, but it's just another change, another way that we have to kind of update, make over our businesses and our models of how we do things. And so what's kind of you guys' take on what's going on right now and any changes you guys are implementing to maybe fight this a little bit with business?
Well, do you want to go first, Marty? Why don't you go first and I'll follow you?
You go, Cal. Everything comes from California, so you go.
All right.
That's true.
You know what? I'm talking to my team agents, and we are listing homes. We listed a bunch of homes last week. Every single one of them sold this weekend. Where we are, shelter in place. We've been locked down for 2-3 weeks now, and we're listing homes. We're staging them virtually. We're having our owners move out. I'm like, get out, go move with family, go leave, go be with your family. House is empty. We're having them cleaned top to bottom. And then we're doing the home inspection before it starts, normally a buyer expense in Sacramento. Now, the San Francisco, San Jose Bay Area, they've done that for a decade. The seller pays for the home inspection, which in Sacramento has never happened in my 24 years in practice. The buyer pays for the home inspection. We're like, hey, we're becoming like San Jose, San Francisco. So you're going to pay for the home inspection. We're going to post it online. You're going to do the disclosures. We're going to post those online. We're going to have the natural hazards. We're going to have everything posted online. Home's going to be staged virtually. We're going to do Matterport and 360 and get all the pictures and the video up there. And we sold every single listing this weekend.
Amazing.
The market's on fire. If you want to be like a deer in the headlights, go ahead. Find creative ways to move forward. We have not missed a beat. I talked to Rick Chihal, one of my agents who owned 9 Keller Williams franchises. And he was a master faculty trainer with Keller Williams. He goes, Brent, we are selling homes like crazy. We have not missed a beat. And San Francisco is locked down like nobody's business. They are locked down. He goes, we're on fire. We're selling homes. And so you need to find ways to make this happen. And you can. And that's what I recommend. So that's all I got to say. It's happening. Well, if California leads the nation, get ready.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, we're doing much the same. We just actually, the governor just declared us a stay-at-home shelter in place last week. So it's fairly new to us, but we've been moving forward. We've been selling homes for a long time virtually. So we just switched over to continuing that prospect of selling things virtually. And we are finding ways to move forward. And honestly, I'm busier now than I was, 3 weeks ago. And 3 weeks ago or a month ago, it was a raging seller's market. I still consider it a raging seller's market.
Yeah, interest rates are great. Buyers are excited. We're going to get through this, and maybe another month or 2 or even 3, but we're going to get through it. And now you get one of these ridiculously low interest rates, a beautiful home. And so I'm with you 100%. It's a wonderful time. And I am truly busier today than I was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, me too.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Well, I mean, I think that there's a lot of chatter amongst agents. I don't even think it matters with what brand you're with. I think there's a lot of discussion going on. I think about three different things right now. One is the Silicon Valley tech. So all your big iBuyer programs, there's still a lot of discussions going on about that. The second is obviously the rising risk of recession. And then the third, I think, which is really interesting, is that brokerages truthfully are trying to fight to stay relevant in today's marketplace. So let's start with that first section. Do you guys have any kind of opinion on how your team, your business has been either impacted and or spun a little bit, pivoted your business to combat these iBuyer programs? What's your take?
I'll go first on that, Brent, because honestly, we are the place that all the iBuyers flocked to. You know, it was here in Austin, Texas. I'm sure you got some too, but I'm telling you, they laid into the Triangle region. And I just got a memo that actually, amazingly enough, they've paused their home buying. So a lot of our and actually that's happened to a lot of our real estate companies have closed their doors. And of course, we're still here. I'm in my office at the office. I'm still working. We've got loans in process. And because of that, the people that they want me to come to work today, they want to make sure that their house closes out. And we're working hard to do that. But the iBuyers have paused, and that makes me gleeful. What can I tell you? And you know, another really great thing about EXP is that I recently went through the Express Offers program, and I loved it because instead of just having one iBuyer, and if you're a seller, you sit down with one iBuyer from Open Door, and Open Door wants to get that house as low as possible. So you're dealing directly with the agent who wants to get the house for as low as possible. But at Express Offers here at EXP, we've got a whole marketplace. So I can possibly offer this to you guys out there in California, which you think this real estate is so cheap. I'm so glad you're out there.
It is. And we haven't had to deal with the iBuyers as much here in Sacramento. So I'll just let you speak to that. It's fine. It just has not been a big issue for us in Sacramento. And we love what EXP has rolled out. So agents are loving it. And I'll leave it at that. I think you did a great job.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for us to not work to sit down with the seller and say, okay, let's bring you an offer from every investor in town, including our own, which is the marketplace for investors. But let's also look at what's the top value we could get on the open market. And you pick out what's best for your family.
Yeah.
And I love these businesses that are changing the game, because these businesses are they have to maintain relevancy. And so if they can develop their own iBuyer program and their own program that's even better than one iBuyer, just like you said, coming to the table, that is such a powerful tool, especially for markets like Raleigh that's been overly saturated with these things. And so it's a huge benefit, I think, to agents. I was super impressed when Marty started talking to us about that Express program. So I think the second thing people are chatting about really recently is the rising risk of recession. So both of you are icons in the industry. Both of you have had to go through things like this in the industry before. So what are you guys doing? Do you have any comments on that risk of recession? How are your businesses recession proof?
I don't think anybody's business is recession proof. We sell on the way up. We sell on the way down. Yeah. You know, we survived the down market. We thrived in the up market, and there's a lot of us that thrived in the down market. It's a great time to buy real estate. You know, great time to sell real estate. I think so often we handicap ourselves by our own thoughts. It's an internal battle. You're waging war against yourself, your self-doubt, your self-belief, your disbelief, your faith. You're all that. And so it's really, you got to get this right between these 6 inches. Then you got to take that 12-inch drop from your head to your heart and speak to people from your heart, find out where they're coming from, what their desires and dreams and goals are. Don't assume you know, ask them. And then also ask them, what is your biggest concern, your fear? And then speak to those things from the heart. You know, you speak from the head, you'll be a moderate salesperson. But you can speak from your head and your heart, you're going to kill it. That's why Marti Hampton kills it. That's why Caul kills it. That's why we've done well, because we've learned to connect your brain to your heart. You can't be all heart, no brain. You can't be all brain and no heart. You got to connect these two things. Take that 12-inch drop from your head to your heart. It's game over. So who knows what the future holds? We may be headed into a recession, but there are people who have to sell. You can list their home and people will buy. They're like, I don't want to do the stock market. I want to invest in real estate. And so that is my thoughts. How about you, Marty?
Well, I totally agree. I think you connected with me when you said your focus has got to be on that other person, and you got to get the cash register out of your eyes. You can't be thinking about your check. I think about all the years I've been in real estate. That the biggest compliment I've ever received was from somebody that I didn't get the listing, and it was years later. And they decided not to sell, and they remembered me from years later. And they said, I called you back because you were the right person then. And it was just because we connected at that point. So it's about the other person in the transaction, not yourself.
Always. I love that. It's so, so, so true. Now, spinning into, I think, a very hot conversation that's happening right now in Facebook groups and private groups and all kinds of stuff is that brokerages are fighting to stay relevant. Now, I know both of you have lots of takes on this one. So I don't know which one of you want to go first, but both of you have come from phenomenal brands. So Marty, do you want to start this first?
Well, sure. I think, I was one of the first agents in this market to have an assistant years and years ago, before assistants were even popular. And then I went to buyer's agents, and then I did all the listings. And then eventually I bought a brokerage. That really divided me, if you want to know the truth about it, because then I had the brokerage and the team. And so that was a decision that I made. I made that brokerage popular because I catered to teams, and teams were really coming on then. But when I saw the EXP model, to be honest with you, I didn't look at it seriously to begin with. I sent my son to Vegas to look at it, and I said, go see, because you're going to be in the business a long time after I'm out. So go see if it's anything. And he came back. And he wanted me to look at it seriously. So I started to look at it seriously. And I honestly know that if I had been given this option when I purchased the former franchise that I purchased, I would have joined this company versus that company. It's just that clear. There's just no contest. And the other really great thing for me is in owning a brokerage, of course, you're responsible for hundreds and hundreds of people. And I love the idea that I can have, let's say, 800 people that I've recruited to this company and not be responsible, but for just my small group, my little team. I love that part of it. It's just a superior model. It's a superior model when it comes to the way it was thought out. I'm really, I met Glenn. I had a chance to talk to him. And the most impactful thing that he said to me in that first meeting, and, he's a low key guy, Brent. He's not a sales guy. I'm used to sales guys like you. So he's a tech guy, and he ran some of the really top real estate tech sites in the early 2000s. And I was talking to him about competition, and he said, the only two competition that I look at, he said, I look at what Redfin's doing and I look at what Zillow's doing. And I thought, just right then, I said, I'm in the right place. Somebody gets it. It's not me and Caldwell. It's not me and Remax. It's me and the big tech companies trying to get that market share.
Wow. Couldn't have said it better myself. And by the way, I agree with you. When you meet Glenn, you are not meeting your typical type A salesperson that we're used to from Craig Proctor days. And by the way, how long has it been since you and I have actually had a conversation? Do you remember how long it's been?
Too long.
It's been a long time. So it's great to be on here with you. But that's the way it was. And you meet Glenn, and he comes off like a scientist. Like, he's not your type A alpha crazy. He's brilliant. He's the genius level IQ. He figured this thing out. By the way, he said he was concerned about Redfin. We blew by Redfin like they were standing still this year. We grew a Redfin this year. This year, our growth was the entire size of Redfin. That's what we grew this year.
Wow.
And we blew by, what's that company? Compass, Compass. We blew by them like they were standing still. We're going to lap Compass this year. We're going to flat lap them on the track. And it's so exciting what's going on. And that's what the big company brokerages, your Berkshire Hathaways, your Sotheby's, your Century 21, Remax, Keller Williams, your big brokerages, they don't get. Coldwell Banker is that they have their office managers trying to grow each individual office. And you add them up, if they have 800, 900, 1,000 offices, they have 800, 900, 1,000 office managers or team leaders or whatever you want to call them. We have 28,000 fully engaged, fired up, ready to blow up, wanting to build their own thing. And we lock arms, do it together. I'm here with you today, Marty, is a great example. And probably the best example of that is every franchise owner I know that's in their look period is not renewing. I can't think of one that's renewed. They're all saying, I'm out, and they're signed up for EXP. I have many, many, many friends who own franchises who said, you know what? I've studied it, and they're getting out. They're finding ways. I'm not coaching them, but they're finding ways to buy their way out of their franchise agreement. Many have written checks to their franchise because you don't own a franchise. The franchise owns you.
Oh, so much.
You buy a Taco Bell, you don't get to do Taco Bell the way you want to do Taco Bell. You're going to do it exactly the way they want you to do it with the exact, and that's what the consumers want. They expect a certain deal. And so you are owned. You actually paid them to own you. It is insane. I am so excited for you, Marty, that you got unshackled, unleashed. Yeah. And here's what you have to look forward to. I mean, 3 years and 4 months ago, I ran a boutique brokerage within a brokerage. I had 18 agents. I would carry 60 listings, handpicked, high-end, the best ones. And then I would give my 6 listing specialists, honestly, the stuff I didn't want to deal with. And I picked what I wanted, cherry picked what I wanted, and they were grateful to have these crummy $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 listings, right? Like, oh, give me the crummy ones all day. And then I had, 12 buyers agents, and we're doing great. Life's good, $118 million a year in sales. I love my brokerage. Keller Williams loved them, right? Yeah. And all of a sudden, and I was going to all their golds and all their trainings and expansion and Caul and doing all this stuff. And that's what I had built in 18 people. I'm changing the lives of 18 people, serving the agents in our community. Then I see EXP and my mind just gets blown. I realize the potential. So I take that and then I started sharing the model, sharing the math, the science, the numbers of EXP. And by the way, if you haven't seen that, go to themodelexplained.com. For those of you that are guests here, it's called themodelexplained.com. Do not call me. Call the person who invited you onto this call. We want to have integrity. Call them. And I am no longer sponsoring people, so don't worry about me. Call the person who invited you on here. Call them. Very important you do that. And get back to them because you have them to thank if you go check it out and actually edit. So I ended up enrolling 40 people in that 8 months, joining EXP, 40. And I'll give you an example. We have a brokerage in town. They're the most successful independent brokerage in town. I think they have about 1,000 agents after 50 years. Their company's multi-millions of dollars. Their family's super rich and well-known in Sacramento, Northern California. I won't say the name, but the point is they're the #1 independent brokerage. Kind of like a Long and Foster back east, I think is it. I think they're an independent brokerage. Right. And like the Long and Foster here, but the Long and Foster of Sacramento. It's taken them 50 years to get to 1,000 agents. I've been at this for 3 years, 5 months. I have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, and I'm not even done, of agents and broker associates in all 50 states, hundreds of cities.
I'm on like a live.
And basically, we have every province of Canada, Australia, and UK. Talk about an expansion model. It's incredible, and that's not an unusual story. I know many people that have massive businesses. And that's what Marty saw, what Marty tapped into. And here's the deal. When I was at Remax and when I was at Keller Williams, my team leaders and managers said, we'll help you, we'll help you, we'll help you. And they never really did anything other than saying, you need anything, call us. And they meant it. They were sincere. But if my income tripled and quadrupled, their income didn't change. Mm-hmm. If you join EXP, your income doubles, triples, and quadruples. The person who brought you to EXP would be called your sponsor, enrolled you, will totally grow with you. So they have a stake in your success. You do better, they do better. You want that. They get paid from EXP. It's not coming from you. It's the most beautiful win-win. Again, you've got to look at the numbers. Stop listening to your manager, banker, and Remax, and Keller Williams, and Sotheby's, and Christie's. If you were leaving Coldwell Banker for Sotheby's, they would not go, that's a great idea. If you were leaving Christie's for Sotheby's or Coldwell Banker or Keller Williams, Christie's would go, that's a great idea. It doesn't matter what brokerage you're going to. They're going to tell you it's a terrible idea. Have you lost your mind? Are you crazy? Because you've listed the Lakers for the Clippers. You left the Giants for the Oakland A's. You've left the Yankees for the Red Sox. Have you lost your mind? Right. I mean, sports teams, like, no, we're the Yankees. We're the Red Sox. You don't go from the Red Sox to the Yankees. The Yankees are to be hated. And so, it's not like that, but it kind of is like that. It's a us against them thing. And we don't feel that way, but it's just the way it is in real estate. So don't be shocked if your broker tells you this is a terrible idea. These are people you respect, people that have credibility, and they're saying this is a horrible idea. And so, it's going to get in your head a little bit, but look at the numbers yourself. Look at the math. Look at the science of EXP, how this model works. I'm telling you, it'll change. So again, that's the modelexplained.com. Just want to throw that little volley in there.
Well, I love that. I had to ask myself, because I could have rocked on where I was for a long time. I had a clientele, but I had to ask myself, would I be willing to really look at an opportunity? Would my mind be open enough to look at an opportunity? And honestly, Brent, I don't think most agents have a mind that's open, and I'm not sure that they recognize opportunity. Let me tell you something. I always competed against KW. I mean, I got no interest in KW whatsoever, because here's the thing. I ran a brokerage. I know some brokerages are profitable, some brokerages are not. I didn't want anything to do with profit sharing. But when they told me what rev sharing was about, I said, hey, you can't cheat at that. I loved it.
No, maybe.
Recognize that opportunity.
Yeah, I think my 5th month at EXP, my rev share was $25,000 a month, not a year, a month, and it's never been less. By my 13th month, it was $55,000 a month, not a year, a month, never been less. Then it hit $100,000 a month. Then it just kept going from there to 200 and 300, and this year 400 and 500 a month. It was crazy math. I love it. It's fun, and we'll help you do it. We will help you do it.
I know, and that connection. I think the collaboration. Really, we're in it together. We really are. It's our company, and you can work a long time and never own Remax, or never own, let's say, Dave's position in Remax, or never own 50% of that. You could actually work in this company for, let's say, 5 years, 10 years. I've only been with EXP for a little bit over a month. Just a barely new babe in this thing.
You're an EXP baby.
But there is so much opportunity. Out of all those trophies I got, I wish I'd have gotten just one piece of stock, maybe. That could have helped me.
Yep. I have all the same trophies at Remax and Keller Williams. They do not pay the bills.
I know.
Just blind pride for your brokerage, whatever it is. Even if you're independent out there, learn the numbers. Look at the math.
You're right about blind pride and just recognizing opportunity. Are you open-minded enough to even look at an opportunity? For years and years, I struggled with not being able to get health insurance for my people, for my support help, and even for my agents. And to have that just that problem alone solved when coming to EXP was huge for me.
Agreed. Love it.
Uh-oh, Deborah, we've lost you, babe.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Hear me. There we go. So quick question. What do you guys think about the technology that EXP has presented you guys with? I mean, the sites, all the different variations. I think from what I've seen, it's actually been extremely impressive. What is it? The live rooms, you can actually go in and do your training. I mean, what's your take on the technology point versus EXP versus some of the other brands that you've worked with?
Marty, go ahead. You start and I'll finish it.
Well, I think that the former brand, everybody wants to say they're number one in technology. Just every company that's out there wants to say that they're number one. But I truly think with Glenn's background that gave him the secret sauce to be able to have something. And I think he's constantly improving that. So I am, what I've seen so far in my month of experience has been pretty darn heavy. I like KV Core. I love the idea that you've got enormous amount of training online, plus locally we do training 2 times a week when we don't have stay-at-home orders. We do that on Wednesday and Friday. So agents really do come together to teach the younger agents how to get better. And we spur each other on by, you know, I'm just on this video with you here now, Brent, and you're jazzing me up. So it's salespeople love to be around other great salespeople. That's all I can say.
Wonderful. And I know just one of our agents, we have over 100 classes a week. One of our agents in San Diego put on a class today from 9 to 5, an all-day event, has various speakers. He's been averaging 700 in that class all day. That's not EXP. That's just one of our agents that puts something together. We have 100 classes a week that are not included with his at EXP. And you go, well, I don't need to go to 100 classes a week. What is it you need to go to? Well, I have a luxury listing coming up Sunday. Well, maybe you should go to a luxury listing class. I do a luxury listing presentation because it is different from a $300,000 house. And so maybe you have a dentist who likes you, doesn't want to call CB Richard Ellis or some big Cornish, you know, some big commercial brokerage to deal with someone he doesn't know, but he trusts you. And he goes, do you sell buildings? And instead of saying no and referring it, you could take our commercial class, how to sell a building, and you could actually list that home, sell the building. It's pretty easy, and get the full commission. And those commissions could be 30, 40, 50, 80, $100,000 double-ended. And so that's just 2 classes of 100, how to hire your first assistant, how to buy a team, contract review by your state broker. There is so much going on. I'll say this, in the world, when this whole thing hit, companies were shutting down, don't come to the office. Guess what's happening now?
Right.
At EXP, we live virtually. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of employees, over 500 in the cloud, accounting department, technology, marketing, agent services, brokerage operations, human resources, blah, 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 on and on. We did not, we were fully operational. We did not shut down. We've been at this for 10 years. Glenn has over 200 programmers, 200, not 10.
Wow.
200.
Wow.
Bella is where EXP lives. It's the building. We bought it last year because Gary Keller almost bought it, and we realized we kind of had a soft underbelly. It wouldn't be good for your competitor to buy your building and then throw you out. So we realized we needed to buy Verbella, and we did. The U.S. military's in there. Hospitals across America are in there doing full-blown surgeries and surgical suites. Walmart's in there. Amazon, I heard, is starting to knock on our door. Verbella is blowing up. Remember how Zoom stock's been exploding? Watch Verbella, which is owned by EXPI World Holdings, which we all have that stock. And Verbella is one of their holdings. And as that company blows up, which we may believe it may be bigger than EXP Realty someday, because it does all businesses, not just real estate. That's our baby. We own Verbella. So it's very cool.
And Tina's in the house.
Yeah.
Our system crashed on our last webinar, so we're back.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's what happens when 20,000 people jump on.
I know, right? Oh my gosh! So glad to make it.
Well, it's great timing, actually, because I've been wanting to ask this question. We've been getting this in a lot. I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but I want to get an answer on this. So a lot of people who have not experienced the power of EXP yet, they're all talking about that MLM movement, right? So what do you have to say with that comment? I mean, how do you explain that? Who wants to take that?
I'll go first. I mean, this is the same thing about Keller Williams. Back in 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, I was at RE/MAX, those doggone stinking Keller Williams agents. They all drink the Kool-Aid. They're all crazy. If I get called by one more Keller Williams agent, and they're just excited about their company. And so that's just a knee-jerk reaction. We all know Keller Williams is not a multi-level marketing company. They're the largest brokerage right now, for now, in North America. And we copied their model, not profit sharing, but revenue sharing. Just copied their 7-level system. And because it has 7 levels where they pay and pay and pay, it radiates out for 7 generations. People like to throw the multi-level marketing term, but we're not selling any kind of products. It's nothing like that. We're a real estate company, just like Keller Williams, but we don't keep it all. We're not keep it all real estate. The other brokerages are keep it all real estate because they need it to pay their overhead. That's all I got to say. I don't know what they want to say, but that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I was one of those people at Remax that was recruited by Keller Williams for 4 years. So, and I thought the same thing. I'm like, leave me alone with your MLM. And that was my thought. So I went from a hell no to a hell yes when I saw EXP because it wasn't an MLM. The thing that people don't realize is that the Gary Kellers and the Dave Linigers, of Remax, I paid Remax $700,000. And so those big guys at the top are on revenue share plans. Whether or not their brokerages are profitable or not, they're cashing their check. And when I saw the revenue share opportunity, I thought, well, now my mindset's different. I may have stayed at Remax if I had $150,000, $200,000 worth of stock. I may have stayed at Remax if Remax was making my mortgage payment, my car payments, and my lake house payment like EXP is making. And so I wouldn't have jumped ship. And so that's where I look at it now and I go, I'm an owner in this company and I'm so excited about it and passionate about it because it's changing agents' lives and trajectory. And not only that, it's linking us as not like competitors. Marty and I work in the same market. She's a direct competitor of mine, but we're chatting every day like best friends now, right, Marty? Because we're building this company. And I'm excited when I see an agent join in Michigan that's not even part of my downline because why? My stock goes up. My stock goes up. So I've changed my mindset as not just an agent on a treadmill. I'm an owner of a company that's going global, and I'm so excited to be a part of it. So call it whatever you want, but I'm just glad I'm there.
Well, I'm the newbie, but I can tell you, I come from a place of owning a franchise. That's my background, owning a franchise. But not only that, running a mega team.
Right.
And one of the pain points when you run a team for the last 20, 25 years of running a team is you bring somebody in, you train them like crazy, you pour your heart and soul into them, and then they go in direct competition to you. If I had had EXP model, I wouldn't have lost what I've lost. I would be so big and it's so huge.
Right.
But you know what? Going forward is where I'm all about. I'm just telling you it's a better model. I've looked at it. I've studied it deep down in my soul. I know that it's a better model that's out there. And it just, I really would love to see, because I've actually had people call me from my former affiliation and say, what were you thinking? And I said, well, have you seen my video? That's what I was thinking.
And it's hard to capture it. It's hard to capture until you go to the events and you see the culture. Like we were just on a mastermind with 17 amazing speakers, and all these agents that have been chatting with me about coming to EXP said, I finally get it. These are the people you're around. Like these are rock stars. I said, yeah, like I get to be in this mastermind for free now. I don't need a coach anymore. I paid $150,000 of coaching. I dropped that immediately because now I have 10, 15 people above me that have failed more than me that I can call and say, would you do this again? And so you don't get it until you're in it, is the hard part.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to that. And I heard Jay Kinder say something that I keep on getting at a higher level. He talked about financial alignment.
Yeah.
You know, when you worked with somebody like I was just talking about, working with a great talented team person, and then maybe they stay in your brokerage, but you don't have near the financial alignment that you had the ability to have at EXP. You've got the rest of that person's career, and that's an awesome position because there's a lot of young talent coming into this company because it attracts that collaboration that we're offering. And I get to be a part of that too, Tina, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
And one quick thing before we go to the next topic is this. A lot of you are watching this going, yeah, but I'm too late. I'm too late. There's that. It's a normal knee-jerk reaction. You guys, there are 28,000 coming up on 30,000. There are 2 million licensees throughout the U.S. and Canada, North America, 2 million. We have just over 1% market penetration. Who are we? We're nobody. But baby, look out because we are on fire. Our agents own the company with Glenn Sanford because of all the shares of stock we win. We get stock awards. So as the rising tide rises all ships, like Tina put so well from seeing an agent succeeding in Michigan. When I was at Keller Williams or RE/MAX, if agents did well in Michigan, I was like, cool, another awesome RE/MAX agent, Keller Williams agent, go Tina, go Marty. But what did it mean to me financially? Absolutely nothing. Like zero. You got to get this. And I really encourage everyone, say to people instead of and say, have you seen the model? I wouldn't even say, have you seen the video? Have you seen the webinar? It's a fair question, but have you seen the model? Have you looked at the math? Use the word model. It's a model. Look at the model. Have you seen the math? It's like science. You got to see the numbers. People respond to that. Well, no, I haven't seen the numbers. I haven't seen the math. I haven't seen the model. Or I did 3 years ago. Well, boy, check it out now. And so let me tell you what, we will have 400,000 agents and broker associates in the next 5 to 7 years. Right now, we have 28,000 going on 30. There's so many people joining right now. So you're at the beginning of a movement. This is an absolute movement. It's like a positive COVID-19.
Yes.
So, it is a movement, and I'm telling you, do not wait to if you call everybody, including Marty and Tina here, and say, what is your greatest regret about joining EXP? I don't care who you call, they'll all say the same thing, that I didn't join 2 years ago, a year ago, 3 years ago. I wish I'd done it sooner. And so here is your moment to be at our company when we have 1% market penetration. We'll have 400,000 in North America because we're the only company making our agent owners through the shares of stock. And we're the only company sharing revenues because we can't be copied. And so by the current big brokerages, okay? And if someone starts from scratch, great. We have a 10-year head start on them, and we have all the major players in America. And so but we will have 1 million worldwide. There are 206 countries worldwide, I believe, 25 million. We'll have over 1 million. We're at 28,000. So you're at the beginning of a movement. I just want to cover that. You are not too late. You might even be almost too early. You're pioneering this thing with us. So
You know what?
Just getting started.
Oh, can I say one more thing? Because I get so passionate about this. When Marty and I were talking, it took Marty, 20 years to get to 85 agents? 20 years, right? Because building a brokerage is hard. And I joined last April. I only brought over and attracted 17, 18 agents on top of my team of 14. And that's turned into 155 agents in 10 states. Now think about that. In less than a year, I have 154 partners that I'm pouring into, and we're all growing together. And the reality is, and somebody said this to me, because when I was getting recruited by one of my best friends in Michigan, I felt that, she just wants to recruit me to make money off me. The reality is I'm going to make $2,800 off Marty. That's not the excitement. The excitement is if I help Marty and Marty helps 10 and those 10 help 10, we've just changed the lives of 100 people. That is the magic. It's not the one, it's what's growing. And so you were right on, Brent. I mean, we're even too early.
I love it. Hey guys, I have to get off this call in about 3 minutes. Is there anything you want? I know you guys can carry on and finish it. Is there anything you want to hit me with as I'm headed out the door here? Or I have another national Zoom I'm on. But
No worries.
Are we good? Is there anything, Marty? You'll be good, Gina?
Any other questions?
Just have you had luck getting people who owned brokerages to have an open mind about this? What's your best line?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I say the same thing to everybody. How are you? How you been? How you doing during this time? Is there anything I can help you with? And then I'll go, by the way, when's the last time you looked at EXP, took a hard look at it, because the company's exploding. I mean, it is blowing up, today tomorrow at 1:00, I'm announcing an agent in Canada. He does 700 sales a year joining. Next week, I have the #1 RE/MAX agent in the state. I won't tell you which one, but it's one of the big bad ones joining EXP. That's next week. I mean, I could tell you 30 stories like this. That's just me. Jay Kinder has another 40. I mean, it is blowing up. You have to stop. You have to look at this. See, your enthusiasm will make up for all your mistakes, your conviction and your enthusiasm. So here's my advice to you. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. If their gate is open, it's open. If it's closed, it's closed. People tell me no too. People are so, why don't more people do this? Because they have 5 years left on their franchise. They cannot allow themselves to see it. They're so invested in Coldwell Banker or Sotheby's or Berkshire Hathaway, they just can't see it. Somebody asked me, why isn't Bob Lucido doing this? Because he's so invested in his current brokerage. And he's just like, I'm sorry, Keller Williams tried to convert me in 2005. I made $3.8 million at RE/MAX. Why would I rock the boat? I'm killing it. I don't need Keller Williams. You guys are a great company. Thank you. It took them 9 years to recruit me. It took EXP 2 weeks to recruit me. 2 weeks. I'd only changed brokerage one time in 20 years. One time in 20 years. I don't change shiny pennies or butterflies. Took EXP 2 weeks. It was undeniable once I looked at the numbers, the science, the model. So again, if you're watching this, when this is over, you need to watch this. Our benefits webinar, the model, it's called themodelexplained.com. Then get back to the person who invited you onto this webinar and say thank you. And join us at EXP because I will work for you. Tina will work for you. Marty will work for you. We're linking arms. This is no longer an industry dominated by the franchise owners. It is being owned by the agents and the broker associates. We work together with our friends and colleagues. It is going to be the most exciting next 10 years. And welcome to the ride. Welcome to the safe harbor, the safe haven, EXP during these traumatic times. We are here for you. Love you all. I got to go, guys.
Thank you so much, Brent. We'll see you later. Take it easy.
You bet. Bye, guys.
Stay safe. Oh, that's awesome.
Best. Oh my gosh. And
So awesome.
he has thousands of people. I don't know if he shared that, but I mean, he has thousands of people under him. So it's amazing. And he still runs a great, profitable team.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Quick question. We've had a lot of comments in the chat about the insurance. I know that that's a huge, big benefit that EXP has rolled out. Do you guys have any insight to share with our audience on the EXP insurance?
Yeah, so I'm actually transitioning right now to their insurance. I know it's saved everybody on our team money. I know Sharon Evans, she switched over, Kelly DeBras. Our insurance went from $1,200 down to $650. So, and it's a great policy because remember, no other brokerage could do it. They're independently owned. This is one cloud umbrella, and so they can give us those group plans. So, so everyone's loved it so far, but everybody has different insurance needs. So there's somebody that you can talk to there to just see what benefits come to you. But it's great.
You know, what's so different for me is just my own personal insurance, but also for the first time, I was able to offer insurance to my team members, my employees.
Yeah.
So we're now pricing that out. And as you know, I'm pretty new with EXP. So I know that that's going to be a better number, but what an advantage. But, you know, something you said, Tina, that it just didn't even have very much merit when you said it. You were talking about how, you just had to get up again this year. If you didn't belong to EXP, let's say you sold, 100 homes last year, then okay, January 1st, this year you can sell another 100 homes. And I didn't appreciate that much because it's a particular time that we first talked. I was not in a burnout phase.
No.
You know, there have been plenty of times in my career that I had been kind of burnt out, but in that particular time frame, I wasn't even thinking about that. But I love the aspect because I've worked with so many, I could name names of people that have sold so much real estate and have no residual, have nothing, no retirement check. You can blow away any kind of Social Security or any kind of retirement that you get from any corporation in this country with what they're offering at EXP.
Oh, absolutely. I think agents, unfortunately for all of us, we work paycheck to paycheck. We are, if you look at the 4 quadrants of rich dad, poor dad, we are entrepreneurs. So we own our business, right? But every day, if we don't get out there and prospect for a buyer or seller, we have nothing. We have nothing. We have to do it every single time. And so you're constantly, when you look at realtors, you don't go to many retirement parties, right? Long gone are the days of, I'm going to sell my business. You can't sell these businesses because you are the brand, Marty, and I'm the brand. Right. And so when I started digesting all of that I've spent 20 years of my life, 130 deals personally, and my team will do 200. In order to make more money, my team has to do 400, 500. I have to keep pushing these people to go out there and sell more homes. And the way that, our brokerages keep us excited is we love recognition. So here's a trophy for being number 2. But if you stay 7 years, you can get the Lifetime Achievement Award. What did I achieve in that lifetime? I'm just working my behind off and constantly on this treadmill. So I actually a year ago started to look into buying trailer parks because they may not be sexy, but they're very profitable. And
Yeah.
I wish, I'm 41, I wish somebody in my 20s would have said, hey girl, you better figure out how to make passive income because you're going to give up your life for money and I have no freedom. And so when I looked at spending $1 million, putting down $250, I was going to make $15,000 a month. And I have the whole module and everything. I bought it all. And I was about to buy a property in Chapel Hill. And thank God EXP came into my life because, you know, I held off on that investment just to see if EXP would work because I had nothing to lose. It was $149. I'm going to put this little logo on my sign. I'm going to join this company. And if it stinks, I'm just going to go independent. That was my route. And so now I've literally invested $149 and I'm at, you know, $10,000 to $15,000 a month in passive income. I've already made what that $1 million liability would have brought to me now. And I thought it was too good to be true when people were telling me what they made. I'm like, that can't be. Well, now I'll tell you it's real. And so, you know, when I was at Keller, I made $1,400 for the year. I didn't go to Keller for residual income. I just went because I wanted to cap my RE/MAX expenses from 80,000 to 23. So I wanted to make sure that I could be more profitable and hire another admin and operations manager. And so it made sense financially. And then I could finally monetize my brain at EXP and pour into my people, allow them to be strong listing agents without the fear of them leaving. So the stickiness is that they're getting stock, they're getting residual income, and they're growing their organization beneath me, which keeps them with me. And so now I'm not just, you know, afraid of teaching these people how to fish. So it's a whole mindset shift of ownership and opportunity. So I've added in revenue share, I've added in stock, I still have leads and training, and now I have healthcare too. So as an entrepreneur, I want to add revenue to my business and opportunity. And now I've done that for me and my people, which I love. It's exciting.
So go over that again. You can take, and see, I don't know everything about EXP because I'm so new, but you can take out of your income, you can take 5% of
5%,
income.
Yep, of each.
And you can purchase stock at
discount.
how much of a discount?
So you get a 10% discount. And so what I added up 2 years ago, I saw EXP and I said, hell no, I'm not doing that. Because I didn't know what the model was. I wasn't open at that time, like Brent said. And so you take 5% of your commission check, you can buy it at a discount, but there's 6 ways to earn it for free. They just give it to you on your first sale, or if you attract an agent to our company and you refer them over, you get stock. So there's many ways to earn it for free. I know most of the agents in our triangle market, if they sell 28 homes, they're going to be rewarded with $16,000 of free stock. So I added up in the 2 years that I wasn't with EXP, I left $180,000 of stock on the table.
Whoa.
Which is crazy. And now I have 10,000 shares of stock. And if you look at the stock market, our stock has gone up. It's actually been ranked as the #1 stock to buy on different platforms. So it's exciting to be at a company where we literally just had this pandemic and are in this pandemic and nothing's changed. We didn't have to scramble. We just went on business as usual. Our 400 employees, they just stayed at work. So that's been fun, you know, that transition.
There's so many people I've worked with. There's different personalities that have been successful in real estate. I remember one agent that I worked with. I can name her name; everybody would know it. But her goal every year was to make $100,000, and that's not huge in our industry.
Right.
But $100,000, she kind of slacked off for the rest of the time, and she'd put X amount in her savings or her retirement account, this, that, and the other. But if she had had this model, what she could have done in that 10-year period would have blown her away.
Oh, absolutely.
You're a disciplined personality. You know, me, when I heard you say I paid RE/MAX $700,000, I wish they'd have capped me at $700,000.
Right? Oh, I don't even want to know what we paid. I don't even want to know. I mean, that was in my 8 years. And
Yeah.
I know you've paid more. And so the thing that people don't understand is there's an evolution of business, right? So the old model hasn't been changed since 1908. Everything has stayed the same.
Exactly.
RE/MAX was the disruptor, right? And you said to me, which resonated, you said, when I saw RE/MAX, a couple of the top agents in our market went to RE/MAX and all the other brokers were saying it was a discount brokerage, it would never work. And but the influence to you was that the big agents went and you were curious. And when you investigated, you thought it was a great idea, right?
Right.
And same thing with Keller. Keller started in 1984. It took them 15 years to get to like 5,000 agents. So it's really gained traction in the last 10 to 12 years. But when you think about that's the last disruptor, it was 35 years ago. And people don't understand why EXP is growing so fast. Nothing has ever grown in the history of our market this fast, no other brokerage. So in the last 2 years, when you see these huge mega teams and players coming into EXP, you go, why? And that gets people to look under the hood and say, oh, well, I think I know why. I'm just going to try it, because we all want to evolve. We don't want to die with our brand in hand, right? I mean, I wouldn't have gone to Apple and got a cell phone if I wanted to keep my flip phone, but I want to evolve, and I want to advance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And guys, there's been a lot of questions too on kind of what's going on with the quarantine and with all of the COVID-19 stuff that's going on. So just to not go too back deep into another rabbit hole, everybody, we're just going to drop in the chat real quick a link actually to the most prior webinar that Tina, Marty, and I did, where we talked about the pandemic and how it might impact real estate and how you could pivot your business. So just check out the chat for that link if you want to check out that most recent webinar episode. But I have a couple of last questions that are coming in if you guys are cool to take those, and then we'll be out like a light. The first is, how much stock are agents making available to a new agent coming in?
How much stock?
Yeah. Are they making available to you as an agent?
So when you join, you get, I think, $400 of stock when you join. So and you sell your first home. So they reward you by selling homes. And you get stock when you attract an agent to the company. You get stock when you attend the events. So I know I used to go to the RE/MAX events and the Keller Williams events. They give you shares of stock to keep you motivated to come to those events. And the huge thing for me was, if I'm going to be at a $16,000 cap, but yet I get the $16,000 back, now I'm getting something tangible. And I always laugh and I say, the stock award that I have, that one trophy, I got rid of all the rest of them. But that one trophy of stock, I've made $40,000 in my stock. That little trophy keeps going up in value. That's exciting to me. Like, that is the trophy I want on my desk. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I want to say too that there's not many places that you can go and get an 80% payout, and that's what you begin at. EXP is you can bring somebody on and they can make 80% from the first day, and they only pay $85 a month. That is an amazing deal. And the reason that brokerages can't offer that across the board is their overhead is so high. They can't do it. They can't match it. That's the reason that EXP will grow.
Well, and I think that, and I I have a lot of friends around the country that own brokerages, and we talk about this all the time. They're either locked into these long franchise agreements. We have agents that sign contracts at brokerages and they're stuck with their brokerage. And I'm thinking, I never would sign a contract. I'm an independent contractor. So I would look at, at RE/MAX here, I'm selling 130, 150, 200 homes, and I'm paying $80,000 a year when somebody who's selling 12 is paying way less. Why am I paying that much when we have the same, we're in the same building and I don't have a mega suite? And so it wasn't fair to me that I would put in more work and I would have to pay more. So now if I put in more work, I'm capped, which is wonderful. I'm able to allow agents on my team to grow teams below me, which has never been done. Jennifer Cervera on my team, 1 year at KW, she sold 12 homes, great agent. She's going to sell 40 homes on my team, but she's attracted 5 agents. That's turned into 23 people on her team. So we chuckle and I say, you have more people on your team than I have on my team, right? So physical. Awesome. And so that girl is so excited. I mean, she's got, a couple $1,000s a month coming and paying her rent, paying her. She loves EXP. She will never leave. And if she leaves me and grows and wants to go be a Marti Hampton or a Tina Caul, my God, I'm going to say, God bless you. Go build it bigger than me, and I won't be mad.
Yes.
That's the fun part.
That's huge. That's huge. And quick question on that stock. Actually, if an agent joined EXP, was with EXP for X amount of time, and they leave EXP, do they get to still keep that stock when they leave? Do you know?
Only the stock they buy. So if the any rewards that you get to keep it after a 3-year vesting period. So you have to stay with the company. So that's the good news. When an agent joins EXP, once they're given all those rewards, they usually stay for the long term. So after 3 years, your rewards are yours to keep in your stock brokerage account. And then anything I buy from my commission check, I can buy, sell, trade whenever I want. So when the stock was $19, when the stock bumped up, you know, I could have sold off at that price, which a lot of people did. And then now we can go back in and buy it. And then it's going up and down. But look at every stock across the board. Compass had to take their CEO, or a Realogy CEO I read, from 9 million to 1 million a year. They're cutting expenses because they were so thin. The margins were so thin. EXP has no debt. We have no brokerages. We don't have offices, furniture, coffee, nothing. So because the company's so fluid, they could share 50% of the revenue with the agents that help grow the company. So it's the greatest attraction tool that you'll ever see. I mean, huge billion-dollar companies are still around. Avon and Mary Kay and Rodan and Fields. I have a friend that makes $1 million at Rodan and Fields, and she invited me to into her business 6 years ago. And I said, I'm sorry, I sell homes, not face creams. Now I'm mad that I didn't join her, right? And her friend who joined 10 years ago makes 10 million a year. So if you think that network marketing isn't a huge opportunity, everyone markets. I market the lipstick that I love to my best friends, and I don't get rewarded for it. I tell them about the great book, this book I tell everybody to go get. I don't get paid when I sell this, but I'm sharing it because I love it. And now I can truly share a model that I love because I believe in it. And I didn't believe in it in April and May and June. When I met with Marty originally, I said, I don't know if it's going to be good. You guys stay where you are. I know Sharon Evans, I said the same thing. You stay there. Let me be the guinea pig. And if it sucks, at least you won't blame me. So now I can see the value. And so now I can give the opportunity with my whole heart.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And before I have this last question and before I let you guys go, I just want to drop a quick link in the chat for anybody that is listening right now or is tuned in or is watching the replay after the fact. Marty and Tina, I'm sure, would both love to jump on a call with you privately to talk about what EXP could do for your business. As you can tell, these are heavy hitters. These guys have done their research. This was not an easy decision, I think, for either of them by any point of the time, but they made the leap, and it's done incredible things for their businesses so far and for years and years and years to come. So yeah, Tina.
I have one thing to say too before we go. So when I was transitioning over, I had 50 listings pending. So I was really nervous when I left Remax to go to KW. We made a big stink about it. We were like, we're going to the #1 brand. And we called all of our people, and they were so confused because they all only know Caul Group. And so I think what's happened is the consumers are so confused because, you know, brands like KW have allowed the agent to brand themselves and teach us that we are the brand. And so it's kind of minimized the awareness of brand to the consumer. And they don't care when they pick up a Zillow lead and just want to see a house. They don't say, what company are you at? They just say, go open the door for me, right? Come here and sell my home. So when we moved from Keller to EXP, we didn't make one phone call. We went from 72 million to 105 million. So if the brand was an issue, why did we advance? Well, we advanced because we surrounded ourselves with big thinkers, and those big thinkers added to our revenue streams. So if you're out there worried about the brand, that's because the brands convince us that we need them, but we don't need them. They need us. We are doing all the heavy lifting, right? Right. So I had to just say that.
Drop that mic. I mean, but I love too what Brent had brought up. He really is true. I mean, about looking at the data. You know, everybody can talk about the fastest growing brokerage, all this great, you know, information, but look at the data on what this business is doing, who the ownership, who your management team is above the lines. I mean, it's incredible what this business has done in the short amount of time it's even been around. So it's just going to get bigger from here. But again, in the chat box, you'll see a little link where you guys can book a one-on-one, very private one-on-one strategy call just to talk. This is not an obligation. They're not trying to force you into joining EXP, but they just want to talk about maybe the differences on what this could make or break your business in the next year, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 years. So anything else before I let you two beautiful ladies go for the day?
I was just going to say too, click the, talk with Marty, talk with myself. We can do this together because Marty has a whole different perspective, and I want to, help her grow as we grow. But the reality is that this company is going to be around for a long time. So whether you're ready now or 6 months from now or a year from now, know what is out there and available, what vehicle is there for your business, because there will come a time where you question who you're surrounding yourself with when you're possibly unhappy. But what people don't realize, I left RE/MAX happy. I went from abundance to abundance. I left Keller Williams happy. We had grown 10 million. I left from abundance to more abundance. You don't have to be unhappy to look at something. But if you're a business person, you should know all the avenues. So that's all I have to say.
And I would say that basically the same thing. Just be open to what opportunity looks like. I mean, it doesn't cost anything just to do the math, just to sit down and do that. And if you run a small team, you owe it to more than just yourself to look at this opportunity, because it can do so much for a team. Mm-hmm. And if you're just want to rock on by yourself, I can't even think of an individual plan that would be better than just the EXP and the cap that they offer, and the 80/20. And after you make that $16,000 cap, you get 100%. So what better?
Yeah, it is really fantastic. So yeah, happy to help whoever needs help.
And just correct me if I'm wrong. You guys, I mean, this can be EXP nationwide, right? Not just Raleigh area either. So agents anywhere.
Global.
Yeah.
I mean, Canada, the UK, Australia. I mean, if you know somebody in, wherever, in Russia right now, they could become your agent.
Yeah. It's amazing. The scalability is there. So everybody, just don't forget to tap that link in the chat. If you also scan through the chat, you'll see the YouTube link for Marty and Tina's most recent webinar on the COVID-19. Hope everybody is staying safe out there. Make sure you're following your local CDC guidelines on what's going on, and make sure you follow up with us. And we hope you enjoyed today's event, and let us know any questions or comments you have in the chat. And everybody stay safe, and we'll let you all go. Have a great one.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.